Evening. Here's the news at 9. First, the highlight. The Lagos State Government initiated plans for commencement of secondary voluntary local review on sustainable development goals. President Tinubu urges Nigerians to transform the country's religious, ethnic diversity into a force of unity, stability, national development. On the front, then Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky met with Pope Leo at his inaugural mass. And in sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles defeat Egypt in third place march of Under 20 Africa Cup of Nations. Now the details. I am Sarah Adesanya. The Lagos State Government has initiated a plan towards the commencement of the second voluntary local review on Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) to accelerate the localization of the SDGs process and foster horizontal and vertical policy coherence as part of its follow-up and review mechanisms of the 2030 Agenda. Speaking at the ongoing 2025 ministerial press briefing held to commemorate 6 years of Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration, a special advisor to the governor on sustainable development goals, Oroluwafini, explained that the state will continue to prioritize a broad-based participation and collaboration towards advancing the implementation of the global agenda through strategic planning, systemic monitoring, and coordinated evaluation of initiative. She revealed that the office's impactful and evidence-based interventions have been propelled by the transparent assessment of the SDG progress in the state, as captured in the first validated Lagos Voluntary Local Review, which set a benchmark for the sub-national reporting. According to her, the government is scaling up initiatives to transform livelihoods, advance shared prosperity, and bridge the gap for undeserved populations. The special advisor noted that it is a remarkable step towards the further strengthening of grassroots engagement since the office has established the SDG centers across 20 local government areas, serving as hubs for public awareness, capacity building, and the localized delivery of development programs. The Lagos State Government has announced Tuesday, May 20 to Monday, May 26 for the rescheduled public service examinations holding at the Public Service Staff Development Center, PSSDZ, Magodo, Lagos. A statement signed by Director, Lagos State Examinations Board, Adebayo Orusholu, says the adjustment follows extensive planning and coordination aimed at ensuring a seamless and robust examination process, emphasizing the board's commitment to upholding integrity and fairness throughout the exercise. Oronsholu advised candidates to visit the official portal of the board to print a clear copy of their seating arrangement using the already provided username and password. It stated that candidates are required to present valid means of identification, including staff ID card, national identification number (NIN), and the Lagos State Resident Registration Agency ID, amongst others, at the venue. Orusholu stressed the importance of retaining registration details and printing examination slips ahead of examination dates and reiterated the board's commitment to delivering a transparent, equitable, and efficient examination process. In commemoration of the International Day of the Boy Child, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, in partnership with the Ford Foundation, visited 3 secondary schools in Lagos. The schools are Estate Junior High School, Ifakwajaye, Keke Senior High School, Ifakwagege, and Stadium Grammar School, Ifakwagege. The club presidents led interactive discussions on identifying child abuse and its many forms, recognizing their rights and responsibilities, relating with the opposite sex in healthy ways, and how to seek help or report abuse using the agency's toll-free line 08000 333 333. Guided by the themes Boys' Health and Well-Being, the sensitization program sought to educate, empower, and amplify the voices of young boys. Students participated actively, chanting Boys' Health Matters to emphasize the importance of mental health, emotional stability, and personal safety. Through this effort, the DSVA continues to build a generation of informed, confident boys who are empowered to speak out and stand against all forms of abuse. Fellows of the Latif Jakande Leadership Academy, LJLA, have engaged in a brown bag session with the Commissioner for Innovation, Science and Technology, Olatunbosun Alake, as part of their leadership development program. The Brown Bag Series is a platform designed to foster direct engagement between LJLA fellows and senior public sector officials in a reflective setting which aims to deepen fellows' understanding of governance by exposing them to the lived experiences, decision-making process, and the leadership philosophies of policymakers. During the session, the Commissioner shared insightful perspectives on the Ministry's ongoing efforts to advance innovation, promote digital inclusion, and expand connectivity across Lagos State. He highlighted how technology is being harnessed to build smarter systems and enhance service delivery for millions of residents, while commending the fellows for their diverse backgrounds and their commitment to public service excellence. And now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to transform the country's religious and ethnic diversity into a force for unity, stability, and national development. The president made the call in Rome during a meeting with the members of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, who were part of his official delegation to the Vatican City for the inauguration of Pope Leo XIV. He urged leaders at all levels of government to be intentional in working for the betterment of the Nigerian people, stressing that inclusive governance remains central to national progress. President Tinubu, who described the Vatican event as historic, said he considered it a divine privilege to be the leader of Nigeria during the inauguration of a new pope. The Vatican visit provided a diplomatic and symbolic platform for faith-based engagement as Nigeria continues to grapple with economic challenges and growing social tensions. The federal government has concluded key legal and governance frameworks required for operational rollout of the African Energy Bank, AEB, as preparations for its official launch enter the final phase. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lokobere, made this known in Abuja at a review meeting with the president of the African Export-Import Bank, Benedict Orama, and the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, Omar Ibrahim. The minister said the meeting assessed progress on the bank's establishment and confirmed that the critical milestones had been completed and progressing on schedule. According to Lokobere, the AEB is poised to become a transformative financing platform for energy projects across the continent. He expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his continued support and commitment to the project, stressing that beyond the completion of regulatory frameworks, discussions on capital mobilization had also recorded encouraging commitment from both member nations and private investors. Lokobere added Nigeria's role as the host country for the bank reaffirmed its leadership position in Africa's hydrocarbon sector. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has thanked Pope Leo XIV for being a clear voice in defense of peace in Ukraine at the day of his inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. Posted on Telegram after the meeting, Zelensky thanked the new Catholic leader for his support for Ukraine and the clear voice in defense of just and lasting peace. Addressing thousands in St. Peter's Square, the Pope used his inaugural Mass to highlight concerns about the war in Ukraine, also warning against marginalization of the poor and autocracy. President Zelensky, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, were among dignitaries in attendance. The Flying Eagles of Nigeria secured third place at the CAF Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2025, with a dramatic 4-1 victory and a penalty shootout against tournament host Egypt. The third-place clash, held at the 30 June Stadium in Cairo, ended 1-1 after regulation time. With no extra time in the playoff fixture, the match was decided on penalties, where the Flying Eagles showed composure to claim the fifth bronze medal in Under-20 African history. Both teams were eager to finish the tournament on a high note after falling short of a place in the final. Egypt got off to a blistering start, taking the lead just 3 minutes in when Osama Omar pounced on a cutback from Mohamed Labib to fire home from close range. Despite the early setback, Nigeria found their rhythm. The victory not only secured Nigeria's 14th podium finish in Under-20 African history, but also extended their strong record against host nations in the tournament, having beaten Egypt on home soil for the second consecutive edition. Just before we go, use the walkway where available to avoid accidents. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961. Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Solo administration supported 3,673 businesses advisory and capacity building, as well as market access opportunities? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Government has initiated a plan towards the commencement of a second voluntary local review on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, to accelerate the localization of the SDGs process and foster horizontal and vertical policy coherence as part of its follow-up and review mechanisms of the 2030 Agenda. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to transform the country's religious and ethnic diversity into a force for unity, stability, and national development. We also told you that Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky has thanked Pope Leo XIV for being a clear voice in defense of peace in Ukraine at the day of his inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. And in sport, Flying Eagles of Nigeria secured third place at the CAF Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2025, with a dramatic 4-1 victory and a penalty shootout against tournament host Egypt. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adesanya Ejoyuka. I am Sarah Adesanya. Thank you for listening and God bless you.